Hello and welcome back, everybody. So recapping what I've been through is I finished 2 Samuel today and I'm moving on to 1 Kings. So that's mainly around Solomon, King Solomon the Wise. And today's reading, I am choosing part of Solomon's request to God for wisdom. So that is 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 5. That night the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream, and God said, "What do you want? Ask and I will give it to you." Solomon replied, "You showed great faith, love to your servant, my father David, because he was honest and true and faithful to you. And you have continued to show this great and faithful love to him today, by giving him a son to sit on his throne. Now, O Lord my God, you have made me king instead of my father, David. But I am like a little child who does not know the ways around. And here I am in the midst of your own chosen people, a nation so great and numerous they cannot be counted. Give me an understanding heart so that I can govern your people well and know the difference between right and wrong. For who by myself is able to govern this great people of yours?" The Lord has pleaded that Solomon the Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for wisdom. So God replied, "Because you have asked for wisdom in governing my people with justice, and have not asked for a long life or wealth or the death of your enemies, I will give you what you have asked for. I will give you a wise and understanding heart, such as no one has ever had or ever will have. And I will also give you what did not ask for, riches and fame. No other king in all the world will be compared to you for the rest of your life. And if you follow me and obey my decrees and my commands, as your father David did, I will give you a long life." So I chose this reading because it goes along with a lot of what we've been talking about. And one thing I really want to highlight is verse 12. I will give you what you asked for. I will give you a wise and understanding heart, such as no one has ever had or will ever have. And I will also give you, and this is verse 13, what you did not ask for. I think this is actually a very, very important part of this. So to me, in prior videos, I was talking about my struggles with prayer, and I feel bad asking God for certain types of things that feel selfish to me. And I think, once again, God has kind of gave me a little more guidance and a little more understanding of what he wants. So to me, actually, here, what God is saying is, I don't really want you to ask me for fame, power, wealth. Like, I don't want you to ask for worldly things. I want you to be focused on building a relationship with me. And if you focus on that, then I'm going to give you the wealth, the fame, all those worldly things. I'm going to give you because I love you and I want you to have a comfortable life because you've asked the right question, you've requested the right things. So I just like that stuck out to me today because I know this was something I talked a lot about. So once again, I just want to highlight that what it was that Solomon asked for is essentially wisdom, but really what he's just asking for, more specifically in his own words, is being able to understand people, right? And to me, why that's important is God wants you to love God. And then, as your number one priority is love God, your second priority should be to love the rest of humanity. So I think a very key aspect here, what God's saying and why he's so pleased with Solomon, is that Solomon asked for understanding, right? And the sorry, exact words are, he asked for the understanding of people's heart, right? And that's that empathy. That's that thing that you need the most to love somebody. So another part of this that I think is God's kind of telling us, this is what you need to focus on if you want to love people. If you want to love me, if you want to love your fellow man, this is what you need to focus on, is this understanding heart. So anyways, that was the reading I wanted to go into today and how it kind of tied back with other things that I was going through. And yeah, wisdom, I think, is definitely something great. I have added that to my prayer, and just I want to start trying to tie videos into my own personal life. So years ago, when I was in the military, somebody recommended the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And at that time, I didn't have God or anything, any concept of that stuff. It really wasn't in my life. And I started reading the book, and I thought the book was about, at first I went into the book thinking, oh, it's rich, money, right? It's all about money, blah, 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 blah. And I started reading the book, and I came to realize that in the book, the rich was not, it wasn't it wasn't just financial. The rich could have been spiritually wealthy, friendships, it could have been family, right? There's lots of different things you can have an abundance of. And I think rich just really is meaning an abundance. So you can have an abundance of money, which is what our society thinks about, but there's a lot of other things you can have an abundance of, spirituality, for instance. So the reason I bring this up is in that book, there was a prayer, or there was kind of they didn't call it a prayer, but they called it, I think, a daily affirmation. But it went something along the lines of, like, God, I ask not for more blessings, but for more wisdom to better use the blessings you bestowed upon me at birth. And for some reason, that popped into my head and that stayed with me for years and years and years, even though I haven't read the book in well over 10 years. And today I was reading this and it really made me think about that. And I think that's actually a great prayer that is in that book. And it's very interesting because when I think of wisdom, somebody who pops in my mind is Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie is actually the person, he didn't write the book, but he kind of, he gave the opportunity to the author, Napoleon Hill, to interview all the richest men at that time, like Rockefeller and Ford and everything like that. This is the early 1900s. And Carnegie was always known for being an extremely wise person, right? Like some of the things that he was known for was he would never tell somebody what to do. He would just ask them questions, right? He would guide through questions. And later into the Kings, one of the parable or stories in the Kings is the two prostitutes come to Solomon, and basically they're arguing over a child belonging to both of them, right? And both of the women are saying the child's mine. So Solomon basically says, okay, let's cut this baby in half, and you both get half a baby. And the mother whose child it really was obviously was like, no, never mind, give the child to the other lady, and I don't want to cut my baby in half, just give it to the other lady, it's hers. And then Solomon, in his wisdom, then he gave it to the lady who actually wanted to save the baby's life. So to me, I closely correlate that type of story with what I've read and heard about Carnegie in my life. And then it just was super interesting to me that this affirmation in this book that's been so strongly correlated or like connected with Carnegie had this prayer about wisdom and better using the blessings given to you. And that's something I'm really going to meditate on today, and hopefully it's something that interests some other people. And anyways, I think that is it for today. I just wanted to talk about the things that popped into my head. So as always, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.